Welcome, my friends. Let's go ahead and settle into a comfortable, basic standing position. Your feet small shoulder width apart. Shoulders and chest nice and soft. Hips as though sitting in a tall chair behind you. Releasing your neck so that your head is as though it's falling upward. Allow your breath to be soft and comfortable in the middle. We'll spend just a few minutes in standing position. Especially emphasizing that quality of release through the neck, softness in your shoulders, the elbows sinking down, shoulder blades sliding down your back, and your chest and the front of your shoulders released and easy. While you stand, allow me to remind you that it's often useful to do a little bit of shoulder massage before you begin, or to put some of that liniment that I'm showing you all the time up on your neck and shoulders to help free things up and make it a little bit easier and to speed this process along of letting go of your neck and shoulders. Today will be a slightly faster version of this 90-minute set. We'll try to do it in about 1 hour. Just a few more comfortable breaths. Letting go of your whole body, letting the weight that you might find yourself holding onto in your upper body sink down through your frame. Your soft tissues melting like the clothing over your body, everything being easy, your joints opening. Space that you're making from letting go fills with breath and liveliness. The spaces between your joints open, even between all of the vertebrae in your spine. So there's this sense of opening and expanding. Crown of the head being buoyed upward by this sense of fullness and comfort from the inside. And the more we soften down on the outside, as our soft tissues release, the more we are filled and supported on the inside. And then when you're ready, Hands on the navel. Awareness collecting beneath, in that space perhaps between the navel and the spine, that middle dantian space, middle elixir field. And then gentle circles, spiraling outward from the navel. Your awareness beneath your palms in that space, deep inside your abdomen. Both directions, spiraling back inward. And then your hands sliding around to your lower back, either with your palms on your back or the backs of your hands. And just for a moment, warming your lower back, backs of your glutes, backs of your thighs a bit. You can even slide your hands and alternate up and down if that's comfortable. Gently warming and massaging the space there. Letting go. Softening the side of the neck. One side, then the other. If you'd like to add an exercise for your eyes, you can let your eyes follow the directions of these movements throughout the form. The eyes are considered the top of the spine, so often it's useful to have your eyes be part of it. Lengthening one side of your neck, then the other. The opposite arm sinking down to help open that space further. And then when you're ready, left and right yin-yang balancing. So yin-yang, this settling through one half of the body, lightness and freedom on the other, pouring from one side to the other. By the way, allow me to mention that if you are somebody who is finding yourself here from across the internet, first of all, welcome. Thank you for joining us. And I want to let you know that this is part of a 100-day series. I think this is day 9 or 10 of this 100-day series. And so you might do better starting at the beginning, checking out the introduction, some other videos about snake and turtle before you follow this series. It will make it much easier. Because as we go further and further along, I'm assuming that people know what we're doing. So you are certainly welcome to join us, but there might be an easier entry point for you. So please do check down in the links below. The last 3 movements are all a preparation for the movement snake swaying side to side. So let's go ahead and combine those last 3 into this. Emphasizing the release of the shoulders. Shoulder blade slides down the back. Neck is released. And then very gently returning to center. And then once again, closing. Awareness settling into that space behind your navel, nestling in your middle dantian. Your awareness accumulating there like moisture in the earth, slowly penetrating, saturating the earth. We are joined today by a Miss Melanie.
Hey y'all!
Practice is always better with Melanie here. And remember that as much as possible for every single person doing the snake and turtle system, you should try to find a practice buddy, like Mel is for me. She's dancing in the background. Wow. Practice buddies make everything better and definitely more entertaining. Wonderful. Starting with the hips, let's start by tucking, moving one direction, underneath and back. So again, if I mirror my tailbone sinking beneath, opening my lower back, then opening the front of my belly. And then the same thing side to side. One side up, the other side up.
What am I doing wrong? I haven't done this one before, so I might need you to explain.
Which one? No, yeah, that's right. Just tucking beneath.
Was it tucking?
Tucking.
Okay.
It's a way to soften your lower back.
I've never done that one before.
For people with very tight lower backs, it's a hard one because it's asking you to open your back. And
That's
so
why I
then
was
side to
wondering.
side. That's it. Just like a dance.
Oh, okay.
And then also like a dance, when we combine those two directions, now we're going to make the full circle all the way around. That's it. And notice if there's an area of your circle that's being cut off and ignored. Softer is better. It's as though attached to your tail is a long dragon's tail, snake's tail, that's dragging in a circle between your feet.
Now we have to go to Hobby Lobby.
Both directions.
Thumbs up if you want to see John wearing a snake's tail.
Don't encourage her. If we get to 100,000 subscribers, I'll wear a snake's tail.
100,000 likes.
So let's try then the slightly more narrow stance. And now dragging that snake's tail all the way around the perimeter of your feet. So you're moving your upper body, keep your head where it is, push your hips out to the side. That's it. So this stays more or less in one spot. And this makes a circle. That's right.
Oh, okay.
The next one is more like the one you were just doing. Just moving our way up the spine here.
And what are the hands doing here? They're just chilling.
They're just sitting here. It's a way of reminding us to keep this soft. There's this tight bundle of tissue up through here that attaches. And so if you kind of put the knuckle of your fist in that space, not hard, just enough to rest there, and it can remind you to keep that soft. Both directions. Emphasizing, as usual, this movement through release. So rather than squeezing on this side to push my hips out, I soften here and I fall into that space. I soften my lower back and I fall into that space. We fall all the way around in a circle. This continuous wave of release traveling horizontally around my waist.
Would you recommend smaller circles for beginners who might not be able to stay soft
I
this
would.
tall?
Yeah, comfortable circles, whatever feels good for them. And then moving further up the spine, neck and upper spine, upper thoracic circles, so that it's not just your neck, but from the chest up, releases in a circle. And just like Melanie mentioned, it can be good to start very small here. I have to make them larger so you can see what I'm doing on camera. But your circle can be the size of a coin, and you can draw your feet together as long as your balance feels firm. Softening all the way around, a wave of release. Make sure that you don't close in any place. So when my chin drops, I don't close my throat. I just open the back of my neck. When my throat opens, I make sure to lengthen my neck so I'm not cricking the back of my neck. Both directions. Arms continuing to release all the way around, shoulders soft. And again, if you'd like your eyes to become part of the movement, you can allow your eyes to very gently circle around, as long as you feel stable and it doesn't make you feel dizzy. It's just another part of the practice. And then, as though you gaze down between your feet into the earth, lengthen the base of your neck, the middle of your neck, the top of your neck near the skull, so there's a full release of the neck all the way through to the top of the head. And then similarly, as you look up, soften the base of your throat, center of your throat, top of your throat, even up near your jaw and your tongue. And then we look up and down. Allow your breath to harmonize with your movement, and take your time. And again, as a reminder, as I look down, I'll touch my chin to my throat, but you'll hear that my voice doesn't change because I'm not closing my throat. I'm continuing to lengthen my neck. Similarly, as I look up, my neck is fully lengthened upward, but I'm not closing the back of my neck, collapsing my neck. That's not good for your neck. So please be gentle. And then closing. A wave of release from your neck and your shoulders, your chest and upper back, your abdomen, your lower back. And then a few breaths of meditation in the center of your body. So let's do a little shoulder release. So we'll start by rolling the shoulders this way, this whole shoulder complex moving. Whichever foot is in the back rolls in a circle, and whichever foot is in the front of your stance, that arm and hip and leg stay more or less stable. That way you have a place that you are closing to and opening away from, versus this, where nothing is doing it. So this stays here, and this has the chance to close, and the movement opens my back, and then as I open here, this also opens my chest and my ribs. A little extra goodness for your practice. Moving at whatever pace feels comfortable for you. I'm doing, most of these practices are 9 in both directions. I might do some fewer today just for the shorter practice, changing directions. But make sure that if you come to one of these movements that feels especially important for your body today, please just pause the video and stick with the movement for a while until you feel like you've gotten as much out of it as you need. How long do we cook the broccoli for?
Until it's cooked.
Until it's cooked. So you do the movement until you're ready to move on. Changing sides. The arm drops because you let go of the top. The arm moves forward because you let go of the back. The arm moves back because you soften the chest. So just like with the hips and every other movement, there's a wave of softness traveling around the joint. And that's what generates the movement. If you haven't yet watched my video about creating movement through release, Please pause this and go watch it and come back. It's pretty short. Both directions. Soft and easy. And then, when you're ready, both sides together. Emphasizing that moment when your arms fall and you let go of the shoulders, falling around the circle. Both directions. Noticing that sense of warmth and liveliness beginning to cultivate through the joint. As you direct that sense of warmth and movement, you want to direct it not necessarily to the shoulder, but through the shoulder, down to the elbows, down to the hands. And then the diagonal movement. Both directions. And then when you're ready, circling up, over the top, forward, down. Extending your neck, opening the throat, opening the back of the neck, full circles. Make sure that you're not straining or pushing yourself at all. And then when you're ready to, begin rolling your shoulders with the movement. Slowly allowing that wave to travel down the body. And then very gently tapering off. And then closing. Now let's do some preparations for black snake. Let's start by looking up, over the shoulder and down, opening the front of the shoulder on the opposite side, releasing. Allowing your breath to become part of the movement, comfortable and easy. And then looking down and up and back. Different angle of opening for your neck, your throat, for the front of your chest. And then that tech neck movement that I've been showing you. Hands behind the head. Gently drawing the elbows back so the hands push into the head. Drawing your head up and back so that the head pushes into the hands. Just a few times lengthening horizontally, lengthening vertically. Remember not to bunch up the neck and shoulders. This is a lengthening process. And we soften around, letting go. I think maybe in tomorrow's class we'll do 4 instead of 3 of those. Letting your shoulders fall open. And then again, we're going to gently push our head left and right. Softening down again. Hands resting on the back of the head. Gently looking down. Allowing the weight of the hands to gently open the back of the neck. And then continuing to just let the weight of the hands rest there. Gently looking up and back slightly. Make sure you're not adding too much pressure. This is just a tiny amount of weight to strengthen these particular posture muscles. And then again, softening around. We'll add more postural muscle, neck strengthening movements as we go. But people tend to overdo them and end up stiff. We do not need more stiffness. And then here, let's let our hands press up above the head, palms up, lengthening our spine, and then palms down, resting on top of the head. Crown of the head gently pushes up against the hands. Softening our whole spine long, lengthening our spine again against our hands. Just these 3 strengthenings, more later. And then all the way open and through. Letting everything fall open. And then that side to side movement. Being very gentle, easy about the movement. And then shaking out the length of your body from the head all the way to the feet. Softer is better. Make sure that you are releasing your breath as you do it through your mouth. Closing. So let's try a little bit of black snake. Remember to avoid twisting your knees and emphasize this period where you're softening down and through, all the way through to your feet. Closing when you're done with black snake. So let's try lifting your hands up to the level of our shoulders, letting them fall straight down and then back. Make sure you don't pull them back, but rather let them go down and release. If it feels good, you could even let them swing a little bit at the bottom before coming up. Palms down, like you're bouncing a big ball. Make sure that you can allow your chest to sink as your hands sink, but don't let your head fall forward. Crown of the head floats up. Release your shoulders, that releases your head upward. And then hands falling by your sides. And now, with one foot in front, hands cross in the front, opening to the sides, elbows a bit higher than your shoulders, shoulder blades sink down, palms up, and then release forward again. Chest opens, chest sinks, shoulder blades slide down your back. Crown of the head continues to lift. Even when your hands go forward, don't let your chin fall forward. When you pour the weight in the back leg, it's as though the front knee wants to stay forward because you release the hip. Yeah. And when you go forward, it's as though the hip stays back. Changing feet. Now with the tiger's mouth facing the body, sliding up. Shoulder stays soft as the elbow lifts, and then slowly palm turns forward, leading with the fingertips. Up, chest sinks, chest opens, shoulder blade slides down the back. Both sides. Elbow lifts, shoulder softens, neck lengthens. When you get to the bottom, release and wait for it to finish and then turn around and come up. Same at the top. So you're not going down and then pulling it back up. You go down and then wait, and it will naturally finish and then come back up. And we do that with all of our movements. And then, embracing the tree. Palms turn out. Palms push away, out, separating from each other. Elbows a little bit high. Shoulder blades come cascading down. Palms forward, falling down beside the body. And again. Remember, if your arms feel strong enough to do it, you're welcome to continue around the circle without pausing. But this is also nice to let your arms fall open, falling into that correct alignment for the shoulders. Let's do two more. Shoulder blades slide down the back, palms forward, sinking all the way down. Letting go. Now let's combine those last several into white snake sticking out its tongue. One foot in front. One hand sliding up and down along the chest. And then it moves forward along the middle, trading back and forth. Chest opening, settling, turning your waist a bit. Shoulder blades, most importantly, sliding down the back.
You have to go slower.
Both up, both down. Both up, both down. You got it. Changing feet. So one of them is this one. We have that quality of release down. Yeah, one of them is this rising and falling. Yeah. And the shoulder blades sliding down the back. Closing. White snake is one of the more complicated ones. And remember, for those of you watching that feel a bit confused by each of these movements, remember that most of these movements are explored in detail on the Snake and Turtle channel, so always feel free to check them out there. Let's try Emperor Penguin Wings. Just made it up.
Did you?
Hands mostly I made a lot of these up, as far as the name at least. The hands resting in front of the chest, elbows circling. Yeah. All the way around. Remember that your elbows aren't going back, they're going out to the sides, as though I was to pull your arms lengthening outward from the shoulders without going back behind you. So they pull out from the sides, over the top, and forward. Lengthening out, over the top and forward. Yeah, that looks good. Your chest sinks. Your shoulders slide down the back without your shoulders rolling forward. And then we change direction. Opening outward. And most of the names for these are kind of boring. They're kind of like double shoulder, elbow roll forward. Okay, very descriptive.
What was the one you gave that one?
Emperor's Wings, but really it's Emperor Penguin.
That's cute. Let's see what you did there.
So then the next one, palms up in front of the navel. What we're going to do is practice turning our waist, not twisting our knees, so that we drive a path from our navel to our spine, and we just circle around. Navel to the spine, circle around. Turning the waist, freeing up the shoulder. You're not trying to draw your shoulder back behind your back. This stays open all the way around. I'm just turning my waist, and you can see that my elbow is still in line with the center of my waist. So you don't have to go all the way to your back if you can't quite reach there yet. Same thing on the other side. Turning the waist, coming around. Turning the waist, coming around. next one. Palm up. Lead with your fingers. Back of the hand slides down the side of your waist. You let go of your arm so that it turns palm forward. And then again around. And here you keep the shoulder quiet so that it can circle past the shoulder and find its way down. Turning your waist if you like. Emphasizing these two moments. This where the shoulder stays quiet. Don't let your shoulder roll forward. And here where you let go of the shoulder lengthwise. Remember that that's an important direction for the shoulder to release, especially for golden sink. All of these are preparation for golden sink. Same thing on the other side. This one's really good for releasing that sticky stuff in the rib side and the side of the hip.
It is.
And then both sides at once. The sinking down on one side helps to nourish and to open the rising side. Emphasizing letting go. And then flower hiding under a leaf. One foot in front. Both palms facing down. Back hand slips beneath the front one. Both palms turn up. Soften your shoulders. Settle your chest. Expanding. Turning your waist. Softening your shoulder blades. Make sure that your chin doesn't move forward, but rather the crown of your head continues to release up. Changing directions. Changing your sides of your feet. And when you're ready, let's try a little bit of golden snake. Last four combined together. Opening across your body. Soften your shoulder and your neck, releasing open, over and around, sinking down. Lead with your fingertips, not your elbow. Soften all the way around the circle. Release your waist, Continue to breathe normally. Very easy to start holding the breath. Turn the waist just like we practiced. And one more time. Shoulders stay soft all the way around. Let's just try this a few times on either side. Turn your waist, softening and freeing up your ribs. Shoulder blade slides down the back. Remember that we want to release the shoulder lengthwise, through and outward. That's an important direction that's hard to describe, but must happen for the shoulder. So even here, we're releasing that way, around the circle. Don't cut across the circle. White tea. Delicious. And then when you're ready, softening side to side. Shoulders releasing, chest opening. Make sure you soften your hips, turn your waist. Now all the way around the circle. Expanding again lengthwise through the arms. Release. Both directions. Shoulder blades slide down the back even while the elbows come close into the middle. Closing your chest, helping to squeeze the sheet on the front of your body like tooth in a toothpaste, toothpaste tube. Make sure to wait until there's some sense of settling and gathering in the center of the body. It'll feel slightly different to everybody. And then, releasing the neck. Opposite direction than we practiced before. Extending all the way up, round, and through. And down. So this is one part of turtle drinking chi. Another part is here. Remember, we've practiced before this, letting our hips travel back, lengthening our spine, and the hips travel forward. So if I was to slide my hands down the backs of my legs, my hips sink back behind me. I only go as far as I allow my hips to travel back before my back starts to curve or do anything strange. And then I come back up. And let's do this several times. Only as far down as feels comfortable. I'll go halfway down. But do not start to round your back, or if you find that your hips stop traveling backward and instead you just start going down with your body, that's the wrong direction. This isn't up and down so much as it is backward behind you with your hips, and then forward with your hips. One more. And then one last part of this turtle drinking chi movement is this gentle curling inward with our spine. Let the whole spine round and then lengthen, opening. So if I was to draw my hands above my head, opening the front of my body, and then rounding my spine, opening the front of my body, and then rounding the back of my body. Again, opening the front of the body, rounding my spine from my tailbone to the top of my head. Opening the front of my body, arching the back slightly, and then again rounding the tailbone to the top of the head. So now let's combine those last three movements into turtle drinking chi. Hands gently on the thighs, and then we let the hips travel back. Spine stays long and straight, only as far as feels comfortable. And then we let the whole back round. Tailbone sinks, top of the head drops. And then leading with the nose, a wave, traveling up. Make sure the front of the body opens, and then you soften down. Wait for a moment if you feel yourself a bit dizzy-headed. A couple more times. Closing. And then when you're ready, lengthening upward. pressing up against the sky, your whole spine lengthens, softening your wrists, your elbows, your shoulders, your neck. And then as though you gather up the sky, it washes down through you, flowing down and down, all the way down from your hips to your knees, through your feet into the ground, releasing down. And then as though you gather up the earth, it flows up the legs, through, up from the tip of the tailbone to the lower back, and then forward, filling your lower back. Let's do that a couple more times. Take your time sinking down, releasing anything that might be hanging on. This comfortable release all the way down through the body. And then a wave of warmth and vitality up from the earth, filling the center, especially strengthening the legs and the lower back. And then again, closing. Slowly winding down. Just a moment, letting your whole body lengthen, open, ending where we started. This moment of stillness, openness. Especially, of course, releasing your neck, your throat, your shoulders, releasing all the way down to your hands, quieting your mind. Warmth of the hands soaking into the eyes, massaging around the face, the ears, the head, the neck. Shaking the knees, the legs, from large to medium to small and fast vibrations. Don't let tension appear in your legs. Across your shoulders. The whole body. Yay! Thank you, everybody. Enjoy your practice. Want to say goodbye?
Goodbye.
See you tomorrow. Remember, practicing every day, 100 days in a row if you can manage it, makes a huge difference. You have to be consistent with it or your body won't respond with the openness. You got this.